Peter Parker. And the girlfriend. I want you to find your friend, Spider-Man. Tell him to meet me at the West Side Tower at 3 o'clock.
Well, I don't know where he is.
Find him.
Welcome back, everyone. It's pizza time. This is going to be my new Spider-Man 3 video for Dr. Octopus. They just confirmed that Alfred Molina is coming back from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies as his version of Dr. Octopus, just like Jamie Foxx is coming in as Electro. There's so many more live-action Spider-Verse Easter eggs with this, so we'll break it all down. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. Obviously, this is just the beginning. It's going to get even crazier as we learn more about the movie.
Here's what they want. All right, practicing and action.
This precious target is the fuel that makes this project go. There are only 25 pounds on the planet. I want to thank Harry Osborn and Osborn Industries for providing it.
Excellent, Willie. That's how we want it done.
While I was making this video too, it was also reported that Andrew Garfield did sign a contract to come back, so I'll talk about that during the video too. You probably saw the news somewhere on social media, but it was Hollywood Reporter that broke the news that Alfred Molina is coming back. He only appeared in Spider-Man 2, and the way that movie ended, at the time they tried to be kind of ambiguous about what happened to him after he went down in the water, so I'll address that during the video, because everyone's kind of wondering how they're going to explain him during the movie because of what Jamie Foxx was posting. Like when Jamie Foxx revealed that he was going to be in Spider-Man 3 as Electro, he said that his costume would not be blue, making us think that he might be a different MCU version of Electro and not his Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2. So we'll try to address that during the video, because most people are talking like this is going to be him coming from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies because of a couple other rumored castings. But even if they change the versions of their characters just a little bit, with both of them added to the movie, Electro and Dr. Octopus, even without Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield versions of Spider-Man appearing on screen, you can say that they have gone full Spider-Verse with their Easter eggs and references. I think we'd all expected some kind of Spider-Man multiverse Easter eggs at some level just because they confirmed Doctor Strange was a big Avengers crossover character in Spider-Man 3, and it's coming just a few months before Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness, which is full-blown chaos-level multiverse story. So it stands to reason that there will be some multiverse stuff happening in Spider-Man 3, and that'll be how they explain some of these big twists. The report about the other characters that are supposedly coming back include Andrew Garfield having signed his contract. Apparently Sony is still trying to work out a deal with Tobey Maguire to come back, but that's expected to close sometime soon too. And Emma Stone and Kirsten Dunst are also expected to cameo in some form or another as their versions of Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane. So number 4, the report that they published doesn't specify if his Dr. Octopus will be one of the villains of the movie. It just says he's coming back as his Dr. Octopus, who was a villain in Spider-Man 2. But if Jamie Foxx made it sound like his Electro would be one of the villains, then it's a safe assumption that Dr. Octopus will also be a villain of some sort when he shows up. Even without Kraven the Hunter or Sandman, we have enough characters for an OG version of the Sinister Six from the Spider-Man comics. Couple minor changes, but for the most part, relatively close to that original team. Dr. Octopus was sort of the last major puzzle piece we were all hoping to eventually see in the Spider-Man movies in the MCU, not including a version of Green Goblin. Could you imagine what would happen if they suddenly announced in a couple days, though, that Willem Dafoe was coming back as Green Goblin?
I loved in Spider-Man, particularly playing the double role. Everybody thinks about the Green Goblin, and that was fun. But the more interesting role was probably the father.
But Green Goblin wasn't a member of the Sinister Six, not the original version of the team. It was Dr. Octopus who put the team together in the first place. He recruited Electro, Vulture, Mysterio, Sandman, and Kraven the Hunter. There have been other versions of the team with different rosters, and we know there's supposed to be some Vulture Sinister Six Easter eggs in the Morbius movie next year. There's no Sandman in the MCU yet, but we do have Scorpion, Shocker, the Tinker, because I think we all believe that Mysterio either survived or there'll be a big twist and it'll be William Ginter Riva pretending to be a new version of Mysterio because he stole all Mysterio's tech at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home. So either way, you still have a version of that Mysterio. Number 3, this new Dr. Octopus report doesn't say how much of the movie he's going to be in, only that he's in it as Dr. Octopus, so there's so much plot that they already have to tie up after Spider-Man Far From Home. I would temper your expectations. I wouldn't expect him to be in the entire movie, maybe just a cameo scene or a few scenes in service of the larger Spider-Verse crossover Easter eggs. It's also pretty clear that they want to set up some sort of Spider-Man Sinister Six movie in the future, so a lot of these other Sinister Six characters could just be in the movie in service of continuing that storyline. Really, when the movie picks up, the main plot is Spider-Man still trying to clear his name. The whole world is after him, and he just got doxxed to boot, so Aunt May is probably getting the nasty end of that back at their apartment now that everybody in the world knows where Spider-Man lives. The only places in New York City that Spider-Man would actually be able to hide from both the villains and the cops, the FBI, all the law enforcement agencies, would be secret bunkers or labs that Iron Man has stashed around the city, or more likely, the Sanctum. Doctor Strange knows him from Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, even though he probably doesn't like him that much. He probably just tolerates him, like, why do I have to babysit this kid? They said that he'd be more of a mentor to Spider-Man, sort of replacing Iron Man's role in that relationship during the movie. So even though he's mostly concerned with giant dimensional, multiverse-level threats, Spider-Man stirring up the Hornet's Nest with all the Mysterio stuff around the world would be enough to get his attention. So it's likely, being as powerful as he is, Doctor Strange knows the real truth of Mysterio's fake video and just reaches out literally and metaphorically to help Spider-Man during the movie. I'm really hoping for a twist on that Loki joke from Thor Ragnarok, where Spider-Man just dips into an alleyway, running from a crowd, and Doctor Strange opens a portal below him, dropping him in. But instead of slamming on the ground like Loki, because he's Spider-Man and he's so balletic and graceful, he just lands on his feet. It's also a cool way of calling back to the creative use of Spider-Man portals during Avengers Infinity War and that fight with Thanos, with him just dipping in and out really easily because he's so graceful. I know we're all hoping for Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield cameos. You have to imagine 3 versions of Spider-Man all doing that at the same time in a giant boss fight. Speaking of multiverse though, number 2, when it comes to explaining how Electro and Dr. Octopus actually show up in the movie and whether or not they're retconned MCU versions or they're legit traveling the multiverse or Spider-Verse, because we're talking about Spider-Man movies from the Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire movies, I think they're going to invoke some of the chaos in the multiverse that Scarlet Witch sets off during the WandaVision episodes. That's meant to be the beginning of this Marvel Phase 4 multiverse plot. She messes with reality and the multiverse to bring a version of Vision back to life because she just can't deal with him being dead, but in doing so, as you would expect, causes a bunch of negative consequences between realities, and it just continues to get worse and worse and worse with ripple effects through the rest of the Marvel Phase 4 movies and Disney Plus series as we go along in the timeline. Then we reach peak multiverse chaos in Doctor Strange 2. She's one of the main characters during that movie. Doctor Strange is the main character in Spider-Man 3, so you can kind of see how they're weaving this multiverse plot along. So it's pretty safe to assume that a lot of the big twists will be multiverse twists. That's why I think they're trying to weave in some Spider-Verse Easter eggs with Dr. Octopus and Electro. It would also be a really easy way to explain how Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield can cameo in the movie as their versions of Spider-Man, even if it's only briefly. It really does seem like they're going to cameo now with all these other characters coming back from other movies. And I just did a Spider-Man 3 video for a teaser that Sony accidentally released and also added a Kimmel video to that. And in that, he was trying to get Zendaya to talk about Tobey Maguire during their interview.
Where are you? You're in Atlanta right now shooting Spider-Man 3, correct?
Correct.
Correct. You can say that. I know it's very secretive, right?
Yes, everything is very secretive.
Is it called Spider-Man 3 because there are 3 Spider-Men in the movie?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
You cannot. Oh, interesting. Did you have Thanksgiving there in Atlanta?
Yes, we did. We had a bubble Thanksgiving.
With Spider-Man?
Yeah, I can't say that. That was good. That was good. That was good.
Yeah, because I was wondering what you guys had, because I know Tobey Maguire is a vegan, and I was wondering if he had like a tofurkey or something.
I have no idea.
You have no idea, really?
I really don't.
Hey, everyone.
Oh, Peter.
Sorry I'm late. It's a jungle out there. I had to beat an old lady with a stick to get these cranberries.
But number 1, if you're thinking about more Spider-Verse Easter eggs and solving the big problems of the film, Spider-Man still has to clear his name. One of the easy ways they could do that is just have Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield's version of Spider-Man take the fall for Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Like, it wasn't him, it was me, I'm Spider-Man. No, I'm Spider-Man. It just becomes easier for him to take his secret identity back and get people to stop thinking he's Spider-Man when there are other versions of Spider-Man swinging around. Also consider that Sam Raimi, Mr. Spider-Man himself from back in the day from the Tobey Maguire movies, is directing Doctor Strange 2, so I'm also kind of expecting some Spider-Man crossover Easter eggs in that movie as well. They did the same thing with Thor Ragnarok between the Doctor Strange movie. But post all your reactions in the comments. What do you want them to do with Dr. Octopus now that he is a confirmed MCU character? There is a really big Disney investor meeting tomorrow with a new WandaVision trailer probably dropping and announcements on what's going on with all the upcoming movies and Disney Plus series, so we'll probably get some footage for some of that stuff, so of course I'll be doing videos for all that. And my new Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 7 video will post on Friday just like normal, so as long as you have alerts enabled for my channel, you should see all those videos when I post them, but leave your requests in the comments below. Everyone click here for that new Spider-Man 3 Spider-Verse trailer Sony accidentally posted and then quickly deleted, and click here for my new Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 6 video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, I'll see you guys tonight.